Okay, welcome everybody to the ride. Those of you that are watching the YouTube channel, I'm just going to put a couple of messages in the chat. Ready for the start. Is that? Yeah, the chat's working. I'm a bit rusty with this. I haven't done it for so long, actually reading myself, that a bit difficult. Looks to be a lot of bots. So let's hope we can filter out the real riders when we get going. Okay, I'm going to jump on the bike now and start warming up for the cross, and hopefully I can still access the group ride. There we go. As I say, this is my first time doing this quite a long time. Got power anyway. Have kind of gear that works. At the moment. Okay. There we go, folks. Power doesn't look right though, so I really should have done a bit of a test prior to doing this, but it's only it's a recovery ride, so we're not going silly. What is you showing at 1.5? Can I make it show? Yeah, there we go. I want to do this ride at anything between 2 and 2.5, ideally, probably a bit less at times. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see who else is turning up to ride with me. How many we got? 20 riders online. I don't know how many of those are bots though, or does it just show the real life riders? See a few no to war jerseys and a few other jerseys, so we'll see. I'll tell you what, let's see if we can zoom out and get a view of the start line. There we go. So we've got a few more people, but I don't think, if I'm honest, I'm a little bit disappointed. I really was hoping a few of my friends would turn up. Maybe I think I am going to struggle here. Still not right with my breathing. So the COVID has really hit hard, not just me, but the whole family. We're taking daily self-tests, and I've had breathing issues. So, well, I'll do my best. Two minutes to go. Who else is going to join in? Hope I just haven't got the bots to ride with. That'd be very good, is it? I'm riding on my own. Oh, Sean's here. Welcome, Sean. Looks like it's just you and me, mate, which is very disappointing. I thought I had more supporters than that. Yes, I realise people are probably busy. Okay, let's see if we can get a fan going in this place. There we go. fan turned on. I hope the volume is okay for you folks. Like I say, I really haven't been doing this, so I'm well out of practice, and I'm covering the Canadian Esports Championships this afternoon with ZMS and Damon later on this evening. So looking forward to that. So that's a lot easier than having to set up my own rides and then commentate and ride them. Now I know Sean has also been suffering from COVID-related illness, so hopefully we'll both be staying together. Here we go, folks. 7 seconds to go. There we go. And once the bots get out of the way, we're going to see who's in the ride. I mean, at the moment, just me. 2 watt kilos is about what I'm going to try and keep it at, folks. So we got some bots pacing with me. Can't see any real life riders at all. Maybe that's Sean at the back there in the red helmet. Yeah. So that's Sean, obviously in the other No to War jersey. Now I'm expecting this, at this pace, this is going to take us about an hour, give or take. I'm not capable of going much harder than this, I'll be honest. So this is recovery pace, 2.0 recovery pace. Sean, who's obviously fitter than me, is obviously pushing less watts. But this is definitely hard enough now. I'm starting to feel it. So I'm glad I did program the bots in. I wasn't going to do. So I'm glad I did. Because this is a pretty poor turnout. I would have expected at least a couple of more folks in the RGT community to join us. Certainly given all the work and everything I give to the platform. This is like a kick in the face, but like I say, folks are probably busy doing other things, so I'm certainly busy later in the day with the Canadian Championship. So okay, let's zoom out a little bit and see if we can get the train in the shot. Well, it's probably left us behind now. I'll find the mouse. There you go, folks. There's a railway line. I think we're too slow for the train. I think it's probably gone. We've missed the train, so to speak. We might see it a bit later in the broadcast. Oh, I'm sweating already. I mean, it's a beautiful course, this. Beautiful scenery. See if we can switch the view around a little bit. There we go. Gives you a better indication of what the course looks like, I think. And then throughout the ride, I'll switch around a bit more as well. I mean, obviously, if I was not riding and I was just covering this course, then I'd be switching views all the time. But it's a little bit more difficult to do that when you're riding, and certainly when you're in the condition I'm in, where I'm literally almost full on here, just doing 2 watt kilo. Looks like we've dropped Jasmine, one of the bots. So what we got? 5 of us now in this small little group. Six of us in this small little group. But because the bots are auto-programmed, you can see them on the road behind us. Jasmine, and then just behind Jasmine, see the small specks in the distance. It could be that some of those bots will actually make an effort to come across the gap. I mean, these are auto-programmed by RGT. I didn't touch anything, I just left it on default. So hence why we've got the bots doing the majority of the work here, which is absolutely fine by me. And looking at where Sean has positioned himself, it's fine by Sean as well. Let the bots do the pulling on the front, and just, as I'm doing here, just stay on the wheels in good position. Now although I say so myself, I'm quite experienced at drafting like this. So that's why I'm keeping good position here. Even in races and events, I generally tend to find positions where I can get the maximum advantage in terms of the drafting. Not always. Sometimes I'm just not strong enough. But if I can find a small group like this, then yeah, generally I can ride in the perfect position, save energy, and stay with the group. We are slightly over the 2 watt kilos I wanted to set, so the bots are pushing and then easing. You can see I'm on the front now, and obviously when I'm on the front I'm having to push slightly higher watts. I mean, I'm not even in the big ring on my training bike here. I'm at 75% difficulty, and I'm in the middle ring, because I'll be honest, I don't think I could push the big ring at the moment. Just haven't got that level of fitness. Trust me folks, this is hard. Might look easy, and for many of you it would be easy, but this is hard work, and I imagine it's the same for Sean as well. Sean's coming back from illness, COVID related, as I am. So I think we're both in the same place. I think we're just looking for a nice recovery ride, as a way of just saying, look, we want to return. I certainly do. I'd like to start riding and racing again. I do think it'll be a while before I'm racing, given what you see in here. I'm a long, long way off. But if there's one thing I've learned with my cycling over the years, let's never say never, never give up. Okay, the group's splitting a little bit here. Need to put in a bit of an effort to get back to Sean at the front. Otherwise I'm going to drop off the back, so just a bit of an effort. 2.7, 2.8, 2.9, look. Going in the red. Sean's got a 50-metre gap. I imagine he'll slow down a bit and let us join him. Although it's going out at the moment. Maybe he's got a party to go to. Yeah, he's pulling out his gap. Now I don't know whether he'll be watching the YouTube, so if you watch it later, Sean, and you're wondering why I'm not using the in-game chat, I'm not able to. If I took my hands off my handlebars here to try and type, I'd be out the back so quick. So for me, it's just not possible. I can't ride and type. Not yet. Okay, so the group's completely split up now. Now hopefully the drafting dynamics will kick in and the bots will regroup. That's what they're designed to do. We'll see. There Sean is waiting up for me. Good lad. Because that was hard work. Pulling him back. But I'm going to keep it at around 2. So I'm not going to push the pace up on the front. Well, slightly over 2, but I've got into a nice cadence now. This is about what I run at. 75, 80 is my normal cadence. I'm what they call a grinder, more of a grinder. So I don't tend to run very fast cadences anymore. I used to, but I find it more comfortable now. Around about the 80 mark, 75, 80, my usual range now. And that's quite comfortable in terms of cadence. My legs are hurting already because of lack of doing this. So, and you can see Sean's having to put in more wattage than me. I'm currently, I think my weight in RGT is 63 kilos, but I'm currently about 60. I lost a bit of weight with this illness. So, yeah, I'm a bit underweight at the moment. I set my FTP at 150, which is about right for where I am at the moment. Normally I'm in the 200 plus. But if I do get back into it, I will have to take an FTP test. Find out exactly where I am. Okay, so need to just ease up a little bit, allow Sean on the wheel. Oh, nice to see MCC has joined us as well. Well done, sir. Thank you. I don't know if that's Andy. But yeah, nice of you to join us. So about a fifth of the ride done, almost 6 kilometers, 27 in total. well, 28, give or take. So yeah, about. And now you can clearly see what happens when I when I concentrate on chattering and not riding, not watching the screen. I've been dropped again. I'll up the pace slightly, see if I can get back on. Only 20 meters in front, 29 meters in front. And you can see what I was saying about the bots behind. They looks like they're regrouping, so expect them to join us as we get further into the ride. Quite clever the way that RGT uses them and distributes them throughout a group ride like this. You don't have to do anything when setting up the ride, you just choose varied power based on group leader, me, and then you get bots at different power levels. Now there's Andy. Nice to see he's also wearing the No to War jersey. I mean, we're not political animals, but it is nice to support what's going on over there. Cyclists tend to stay out of politics, for the majority. Not all of us, but majority of us. Yeah, and he's trying to pull me back up to Sean here, which is well done, sir, because yeah, there's Sean. This is hard work, folks, when I'm going above the 2 watt kilo banner. So we're averaging 30 kilometers an hour, give or take. Well, a bit less actually. And obviously we've got this bloody hill coming up. Now it's not huge, but it's definitely going to slow us down. And that's why I'm saying I think the ride's going to take us about an hour, maybe a bit more. I mean, we're actually on the slopes of the hill now, as you can see. Gradient is changing, 4.8 at the moment, but I think it goes up to about 6%, 5 or 6%. So not overly steep, but we're still going to feel it. Now here in the Netherlands where I am, it's a really funny situation because just when we thought we were over the most, or the worst of it with the COVID and Omicron, we start to see figures rising, and rising dramatically in the hospitals. And I think that's mostly down to the student population that live here in the city. Because students generally, and I'm not saying it's just the students, but in general, they tend to think they're invulnerable. So they don't take as many precautions, you know, like wearing masks and this lot, as the more savvy of us do. And I think that's why Groningen, which is a student city, is seeing these spikes. See if I can get on the owner's wheel. I did say they would catch us, and there they are, but I really need to get on a wheel if I can. Which is pushing 3 watt kilos. Look, I can't do 3 watt kilos. Well, I probably could for a few seconds, but certainly not going to kill myself. This is a recovery ride. So I said it went up to about 6%, folks. There you go. There's the 6%. Now that's the pre-climb. That's just a bit of orange that you saw there. So this is the pre-climb we're on. You can see the riders up front now. Dawn seems to be dropping back for me. Newcomers just taken off. Slowing down now, of course, but it's already done enough to get back on the front. Like I say, it's really clever the way that the programmed by RGT. Put in these kind of surges and then sit in and now you'll also notice that it's showing only 8 minutes and 3 kilometers for MCC here. Whereas this from Sean is more like the true distance. 8 kilometers done and 20 minutes. So we're probably looking at about an hour and 5 minutes for the ride. Maybe an hour and 10 if we slow down a lot on this next climb. Now obviously I'm 30 meters behind Sean, but Sean is slowing up for me. Good of him. So there's really no need to. I'm just going to ride. I'm going to ride at the pace I can manage. I'll push when I can. I'll have a bit of a push on this next hill when it starts to get steep, because I love hill climbing. Open up my lungs, see what they've got. Well, the lungs. See what it's got. So here we are on the base of the slope now. 1.2%, but as I say, I think it goes up to about 6, give or take. I think it's only about a kilometre long, so a little bit more maybe. Then we got a nice downhill section. And it's more or less flat all the way to the finish. A couple of very, very tiny rises, but it's once you get over this hill, this is the last of the climbing you're going to be doing. But there's very little climbing on this course, to be fair. Just enough to make it interesting in a race situation. I mean, this is an excellent course for racing on. You know, 2 laps of this course and you're going to know you've raced. Well, 1 lap at race pace, but you know, they'll be doing that in what, 45 minutes? So I'm finding this pace not too bad. Managing, I think, to average about the 2 watt kilos, which is what I wanted. Sometimes, you know, over. But in general, I think I'm averaging about 2. Which feels about right. There's Neoma again. So you can see that while she was putting in that big effort of 3.3 watt kilos, she's now dropped back to 2 to join us. Another excellent example of the bot programming. And you can see the riders behind. I did say they would capture us. I did say they would join the party. And there you can see they are doing so. And that's Kirsten and Jasmine just behind us. So they're going to join us as well. I mean, the thing about the bots is they don't feel the hills like we do. Okay, 7% slope there, so I was wrong in my prediction of 6, but yeah, not too far wrong to be fair. And Sean's a hill climber. He proved his worth in previous tours. Very good climber, so expect him to do well on the climbs. Although he's taking it easy today, obviously. Like me, still recovering from COVID. 7.1 now. I don't think it gets much steeper than that. I'm getting into a nice rhythm here. Yes, I'm going above the watts I want to put out, but I'm trying to stay reasonably within sight of Sean. So I'm having to work that bit harder than I would normally. And I've got Kirsten for company. So it's eased back slightly to 6.7 now. Kirsten's looking strong, look. 2.6 watts. Take the lead. But she'll slow down once we get over the other side. And rejoin us, I think. What tends to happen on these kind of hills, these shallower hills, is you tend to, well, this is me, you tend to find it comfortable here that you're pushing reasonably hard, but then as the grade eases, you actually end up going faster, obviously because it's easing, but also because your legs are spinning that little bit faster. But it's gone up to, I didn't realise it was this steep actually, 8.9%. So steeper than I remembered. But having said that, I've only covered this slope once. I covered a ride for Damon on ZMS. And that's the first time I had a chance to look at it. And that's why I chose it for this group ride. I was so impressed with what I saw. I thought, oh, this would make an excellent course for a recovery comeback ride. Hence the name of this video. Derek's Return. Because this is my first time back. Okay, so 8% now. It seems to be taking forever. My car didn't seem to be moving on that white dot at the bottom of the screen. Oh, my legs are screaming at me. Really? I mean, this should be bread and butter when I'm fit. This kind of riding. But my legs are totally screaming at me now. Although I'm not pushing big watts, I am working hard. I'm not wearing a heart rate monitor, so you can't see how hard I'm working. But it's nice to see Sean's got one on. And he's in just above recovery mode here. 137 heart rate, 136. That'll be the top end of its recovery zone, I imagine. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be far off there. As we come to the transition part of the slope, and you can see the gradient's changing now. And I do this unconsciously, I don't do it deliberately. But whenever I'm on this section of a climb, what we call the transition to the top, I always seem to find something a little bit extra. And if this was a race situation, this is where I'd be pushing. This is where I'd change into the big ring, I'd get out of the saddle, and I'd really pump the pedal round to try and distance the riders around me. And obviously they're going to be trying to do the same to me, so it doesn't always work. But yeah, this is the stage where just before you get into the top, you should be pushing. Should be seeing what the riders have got left after you've almost finished the climb. I'm going to put in a bit of a spurt here just to get back on Sean's wheel. Because if I'm not with him as we go over the top, he's going to leave me. I think he's slightly heavier than me, so he'll have the advantage on the downhill. So I really need to be on his wheel. So I'm putting in a bit of an effort here, 0.7 kilos to stay with him. You can see I'm even going into the red there, look. Trying to stay with him. And obviously Sean is doing what all good climbers do. Towards the top, putting in his big effort. Get over the top first. Short burst. Can't keep this going for long, but there you go. Forgot to bring my drink. I haven't got a drink. Which is silly. Legs are screaming. There's Sean, pushing, as I say, over the top. Nearly there. So you see what I mean, folks, about this hill. This would definitely sort out riders in a race. Long enough to have an impact on the overall. And give the lighter riders a chance to try and make a break. Although the rest of the riders, you can see, favours the power riders, the stronger riders. So unless they've got a really good gap, they're not going to hold it. And I'm paying for that effort I made going into the red because I'm absolutely exhausted now. I didn't turn on the pain cam because it would be too painful to watch back just how unfit I am. So no camera, I'm afraid, today. Get back on his wheel. There we go. Okay, ready to crest now. Kirsting has obviously gone on front, but I do think we'll end up riding with her before this ride finishes. So this is the summit banner. Well, not quite the summit, but close enough. That gives you the timings on the Shalona climb. And you can see I got 8 seconds on Sean. I wasn't trying to do so, Sean. You're a much better climber than I am at the moment. Okay, very close to the genuine top now. Here we go. Slope starting to ease dramatically. A second now to drop to the negative. Then we're going to be on his way. Now recovery on the downhill. I'm hoping Sean doesn't continue to push big watts. I'm going to shift into the big ring though for this next section, just in case Sean does push up, so that I've got something gear wise to stay with him. So I'm in the big ring, about 2/3 of the way up the block, and just let's have a look. Let's see if we can that's general. There I am. No, it's not showing me. I'm trying to highlight me, folks. This is why I wish RGT would give us the ability to be able to click on the riders. I'm using the keyboard, try and highlight myself, and it's skipping me because Sean is so close to me. So you can see it's not actually highlighting me. Keep trying, but I can't get there. So you can't see my cadence, but my cadence has dropped down to about 50 because I'm in the big ring and I'm basically recovering now. Pushing a big gear, grinding it out, just recovering. And this is comfortable for me. I'd prefer this rather than spinning. For me, this is better recovery. See if we swing the camera around, get a better view. There we go. So we're basically out on the zone. Newcomers almost a kilometre in front of us, with a couple of sorry, behind us, not in front, behind us. The Kirstin's 500 metres in front. Now that's a halfway banner. We've just gone under. Yellow will go beyond banner, like you saw. So that's halfway. So steep downhill now. The blue section. Now I have to change back into the middle ring again. You can hear from my breathing, folks, just how much of a struggle this is. So a long way to go before I'm racing again. So matching each other wheel for wheel. I'm now going to change back into the middle ring. Increase my cadence. And the ride is going to take us longer than we thought it was. I said about 1 hour, 1 hour 5, 110 tops. It's going to be about 1:15. And that's because of the climb. It took far longer on the climb than I allowed for. Hard to judge when you haven't done it for such a long time. So 12 kilometres left. Really feeling it now. I think this is going to be touch and go towards the end, folks. Whether I can stay with Sean, and he might be suffering just the same as I am. So we'll see. But I'm really working hard to stay at this 2 watt kilos that you can see on screen. And I left my bottle downstairs. I'm very angry about. I'm absolutely gasping, but I'm not going to jump off the bike. So we'll finish up. Okay, so one more slope. You could just see this orange bit here on the road, and there's just one more orange section, a few kilometres from the finish. So sort of like goes gently uphill now for a while to the next climb. John's proving the stronger rider. But to be fair to the lad, he is regularly allowing me to get back on. So thanks a lot, Sean. Very appreciated. Not much fun riding on your own. Don't know what happened to Macca. MCC. Maybe he could only join us for a short section. For me, the magic number, 6 kilometers to go. If I can stay strong to the 6 kilometer to go point, I know I can generally finish at about the same power. That's always been my benchmark, 6 kilometers to go. Usually, if I'm in a race situation, that's when I'll be looking around me to see what's happening. But we've another 4 kilometers plus before we get to that magic number. So, and I'm struggling. Not just a case of turning the pedal down, folks. There's more to it than that. When you've been off the bike for such a long time, you haven't got the same feelings that you get when normally a ride like this, you would do it sort of like without even thinking. Your legs are in auto mode, your breathing's in auto mode. You know, in your head you can do other tasks like use the chat, use the keyboard, you know, flick around. All that is out of the window for me at the moment, because trust me on this, 100% of my effort is going into staying with Sean here and keeping this ride going. 100%. So there's no room for anything else. Now obviously, like you saw on the climb, I've got a little bit in reserve. I can dig deep, you know, when I needed to close the gap up on Sean. Wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it, but you've always, or you should always leave a little bit in reserve, even on a ride where you're at max like I am now. But this, you see my wattage is dropping slightly. We've caught Kirsten as I said we would. I said we'd ride with her towards the end, and here she is. So this is a good example of a recovery ride and what they're all about. Not about pushing as hard as you can. It's about finding a pace that you think you can do the ride. And I chose 2.0. I'm just about sticking on it, sometimes a bit below, sometimes a bit above. But I think I'm averaging 2.0 or maybe just a bit less. So mission accomplished in terms of choosing a pace. But like I say, can I hold this to the line? And if I know anything about Sean, Sean will push the pace up as we get closer. If there's anything left. This feels nicer. Settling into a rhythm now. So 3 of us working together, 2 humans and 1 bot. I mean, you have to admire, I keep mentioning it, but you have to admire the way these bots are programmed. The Kirstin was 500 meters in, 600 meters in front, and could very easily have finished the ride on her own in front of us. Certainly with the kind of terrain you've got left. But that's the clever programming. Being programmed, come back and assist us. Which is exactly what's happening now. And what I knew would happen, which is why I said we'd be riding with her again. I knew she wouldn't stay in front. Now that's different to how RGT used to be. Only a matter of a few months ago, that wouldn't have happened. That happens now because of tweaking to the engine, to the mechanics of it all. And RGT are constantly improving. For any newcomers just happened to watch this video after the event, I'm really sad that more newcomers didn't turn up, because this is an excellent chance to ride what is one of the best courses on RGT. But anyway, we won't go there. But for any newcomers that just happened to catch this broadcast, this is why RGT is currently jumping in front of Swift, the other big competitor, in leaps and bounds, because it's more realistic and they make these nice tweaks that really add to the ride feel. You don't have to wait years for it to happen. I mean, Swift now are more concentrated on the subscriber base and the money than they are on the users. And that's not me saying that. And it's not me being bitter. I love Swift. Spent many, many years on the platform building it up with Team 3R. So I have a lot of love for Swift. But in recent years, they got it wrong. They really have. They've moved away from their community base. Whereas RGT, you know, you put in a support and it's answered almost within 24 hours and usually resolved for you. Okay, so what does that banner signify? 6.5 to go. So we're almost at my magical point, but Sean's leaving me, so see if we can get back on his wheel. Bit of an effort just to get back on his wheel. Now Kirstin will also do speed up and join me. He won't be left behind. Okay, so there we are, back on the wheel. And as I say, Kirstin will be programmed to close that gap. She's not going to get left behind at this stage. She might not close it immediately, but I have no doubt join us. So Sean's pushing the pace, and I did say 6 kilometres was the period where most riders like me will see what they've got left. And Sean's pushed it to 2.4, so 2.5. He's pushing up the pace. Classic, this is classic strategy. Yeah, he's opening up a gap on me and I'm opening up a gap on Kirstin because of the extra pace. So forget what I said earlier. Trying to stay with him without going into the red, because if I go in the red I'm done. My legs are just about gone now. Okay, we're there. Right downhill. And this is the last slopey section. Although you hardly feel it, to be fair, at this point. Five kilometres left. Yeah, I think because of the pace injection, that's why Kirsty has been dropped. Now she may come back, she may put in an effort herself, but I'm not going to say that anymore because I really don't know. I don't know whether at this point she'll just maintain the current watts or whether she'll increase them. So we're looking at about 1:15 total time. Maybe. Pace has dropped to a more normal 2 now. So we're on a downhill slope, so slightly higher, but yeah. God's really going for it. I can't match that. 4 watt kilos. No way. Let him go. Not at this point. Talking has got less, folks, because I'm really suffering now. Many of you will probably be glad of that. One's doing the wise thing and drafting me. That's exactly where I'd be if this was a race situation. I'd be on the wheel. Like that. Perfect position. Coming into the finish now. The idea being is that you wind up your sprint, turn your big gear, wind up your sprint, and then take him in the last 500 meters or so. 300. You've got a sprint, I haven't. I tend to go a bit earlier. But I think Sean's stronger than me. I think he'll pull away as we get close to the finish. Tried drafting him, but about all done in here. Side by side. Or is he letting me go in front? .3. Now, if you're gonna get in the big ring, this is about the point where you need to be thinking about doing so. I can't find it. Well, I have now. Okay, so stay on his wheel, don't go past him. But Sean will probably pull away. In fact, you can see he's putting out far more watts than me. Yeah. So he's not broke away. Only 10 meters. Ah, he's pulling away now. Yeah, he's easily got me here. I can't match his pace. So I'm just going to wind it down. $80 meters at the end, easily. I'm not strong enough, Sean. Sorry I couldn't give you a battle, mate. Hanging on in these last few kilometers. So there's the finish line for Sean. Oops, there's Leanna. Where am I? Oh, come on. Oh, God knows. Not working, folks. We're finished. Okay. Well, we're not going to watch the bots coming in. So that's the end of the ride. In the end, Sean took 20 seconds out of me, which is no big surprise. But a beautiful course, as you can see. Well worth a group ride. I will definitely do this again. Hopefully when I'm a little bit fitter, we can maybe up the pace 2.5. So, yeah, very enjoyable. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to call it a day there. Climb off the bike. And let's give you the ending screens. Just pull up the software. There we go. Doing that now. Stay safe, everybody. See you in the next one.